What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Kaiju Cave. Well, it is here. Godzilla vs. Kong has finally released, and this is going to be our spoiler-free review. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start off with the good. The movie opens up and it gets right to the point. It gets right down to the nitty-gritty. You actually have a lot revealed in the opening portion of the film. It's really nice. Like I said, we're not going to spoil nothing, but it has a good tone that gets set right at the very beginning that kind of lays the groundwork for the rest of the film. Uh, the CGI is just top notch in this film. Honestly, it's second to none. The people put their heart and souls into the graphics and the Titans and the CGI. Like I said, of this movie, the Titans they have a personality that hasn't, like, it's not been shown before in the MonsterVerse. I mean, you get to see bits and pieces and Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. You get to see a little bit of the personality, but in this one, it's a lot more prevalent. It's right there. It's really nice. It's good to see that these Titans actually have feelings. And being a longtime Godzilla fan of over 32 years, and not just a fan of Godzilla, but also of Kong and many other uh, Japanese kaiju films or Titan films, and it was really good to see. You know, Kong actually has expressions even more so than he did in Kong Skull Island. You get to see that he has feelings, he feels, he knows what's going on, and the same for Godzilla. Godzilla, you get to see there. I mean, there's several scenes in the movie where Godzilla will do a specific thing, and like there was one scene where he actually had a grin on his face, and it was kind of really impressive to see that. It kind of put it into the fact that, hey, this guy's, Godzilla's thinking, he knows what he's doing, and it's awesome to see that. The fight scenes were completely epic. I just was blown away. I mean, in this film, you're going to get to see both Godzilla and Kong do things that you've never seen them do before, and that was kind of like a really, really big surprise. Like I said, this is spoiler free, so I don't want to get into too much detail. But honestly, the fluidity of the monsters, of how they move around and how they fight, it's just so unique. And like before in Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters, there was sort of like a slow, cumbersome, movement to the Titans, which is real. You have a monster that big that they're gonna go to punch or move a city block, and it's gonna take a little bit. But in this, it made it seem like it was more fresh, like it was more real, and it gave more depth and flavor to the fights. The sceneries, the settings in this movie were another thing that I found to be very impressive, and it almost seemed like every time a scene changed, it was showing you something beautiful. Whether it be a city or whether it be, you know, Skull Island or the Hollow Earth or any of that stuff. I mean, it was always just really beautiful. The cinematography was great. It just really put things into perspective. I've heard a lot of other reviewers say, here's another, wallpaper scene, another wallpaper scene. A lot of people are going to be using these images for wallpapers, and it's rightfully so. It's definitely fitting because the scenes are gorgeous. The other thing that I liked about this movie is with the Titans, both Godzilla and Kong, it gave them sort of a majesty. There was a lot of majestic feel to their characters. Every time Kong was on scene, there was just something majestic about it. Whether he was moving around or whether he was looking at something or whether he was fighting, and the same with Godzilla. And that's what I love most about Godzilla through the MonsterVerse films, is they actually make Godzilla out to seem like he's a god, just like they said in Godzilla King of the Monsters. They were the first gods, and it actually shows that, and I really enjoy that with this movie, that the Titans were just shown in all their majesty in these specific ways, and it just made the movie so much better. Not really the bad things, but the things that kind of stood out and I really didn't care for the film, or even leading up to the film, was we were sort of promised, and I know a lot of you were like myself, had pre-ordered the graphic novels to the film. And the thing is the graphic novels, if you don't read them and you go and watch the film, it's not like you're not going to have a good time, but there's a lot that is explained in the graphic novels. For instance, like for example, between Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters, we know that by reading Godzilla Aftershock that Godzilla fights Muto Prime and he loses his dorsal plates, and he grows new ones. And you would go and you would watch Godzilla 2014 and then Godzilla King of the Monsters, and you would be like, okay, hey, what happened? Why does he have new dorsal plates? I didn't know that. And that's the way I kind of felt with Godzilla versus Kong, is without being able to read Godzilla vs. Kong, Kingdom Kong, or Godzilla Dominion, I felt like I kind of missed something that was in the film, because the film is so fast paced and it gets right to the point every time, and you feel like there should be more explaining, there should be more explanation. Why did this happen, and I mean, you're gonna see it even in the opening credits. You're gonna notice something and you're gonna be like, what in the heck happened? I thought at the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters, this specific thing happened, and I thought everything was cool. Well, and this, it actually opens up, and you're like, what in the world? So I felt like that sort of through the whole movie, as Adam Wingard said, he gets right to the point. He wasn't kidding. It just goes right into the next scene, right into the next scene. It doesn't really explain anything. And in some aspects, it doesn't really need to explain anything, but in a lot of aspects, it does. Because basically, when you're watching the film, it goes to a specific scene and it'll show something, and then it's like you're just supposed to know that, and it's just like, well, that it kind of takes you out of the element. The human characters, I really didn't have too much of a problem with. There was a couple characters, like Julian Dennison's character sort of really didn't like fit in the film per se. I mean, he's cool. I enjoy him in some of his other roles. But it almost seemed like he was just a sidekick character, or like a filler character in this. I also think Skarsgård's character, I think, Nathan Lind, I think he was, when you see him in other roles, he's not, I don't know, he's totally different in Godzilla vs. Kong, and it kind of took me out of the realm a little bit. He was kind of kooky or goofy a little bit in this one. He really didn't get serious until close to the end of the film, and I really just didn't think the character development was what it should have been. I mean, obviously we all go to watch MonsterVerse movies because we want to see the Titans fight. We want to see Godzilla versus Kong fight. But at least with the characters, you need to explain certain things, or you need to go in depth, a lot more. Like Millie Bobby Brown's character, just as she did in Godzilla King of the Monsters, I felt she hit it out of the park. She did really well. You can see that she has a true sense of caring for Godzilla, and I really enjoyed that. I thought, it kind of gave me a feel, because, let's face the fact, we've all seen the Godzilla vs. Kong trailers, before we watched the movie, and it's making Godzilla out to look like a bad guy, and I really didn't care for that in this film, that they were trying to make it out. But when you watch the movie, you see what's going on, and you find out why and everything. But yeah, it's like I said, it feels sort of rushed. The characters really weren't drawn out, which I can't live with that. I'm not gonna say that was terrible, but there was no depth like to the movie. Like it actually, when it went into a scene, it changed to another just really quick, and stuff that you would want them to focus on, stuff that you've been hoping for through the whole MonsterVerse, you're like, man, I want to learn more about this, or I want to know more about that. Well, you kind of just got to use your imagination, because you get bits and pieces, and that's about it. And not the next thing is the music with the film. I thought that Junkie XL did a fantastic job. I love Pensacola, Florida, Godzilla's theme. It was absolutely epic. It gave Godzilla just this just a destructive god sort of feel to it, and it was really good. I liked some of the music that they played through the film. That was actually like a lot of regular music. I don't want to spoil everything, but there was some music that just didn't fit, and it just felt out of place. And it kind of, like when Kong's on the boat, it's a lot different than the trailer. It's kind of like a I'm alone, quirky kind of song. I really didn't care for that. And then like towards the end of the film, they play another song that I just really didn't feel fit for the MonsterVerse. It just felt out of place. It was kind of odd, but I can live with it. The next thing is the film, whether you watched it at the theater or you watched it on HBO Max, uh, that has a lot to do with how you may feel about the film. Like me, I watched it on HBO Max, and one thing I really didn't care for is that it came out at midnight Pacific time, but it came out at 3 o'clock in the morning Easter time. And I understand that they have to do it that way and everything, but goodness gracious, it just unless you're a diehard fan like me, you're not gonna stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning for a movie. And I know a lot of you probably did, but it just was kind of it was kind of crazy. If you wanted to do that, you had to take a vacation day from work, or you had to miss a day at work if you wanted to catch it. And if you're like me, whenever a Godzilla movie comes out, it's a freaking holiday anyway, so I didn't really care about that. But I wish that it would be like midnight in your area and not but I guess I don't know. I just felt like it felt kind of out of place, and it was just silly that they released at that time.
30 odd years
But
later, Adam wanted to.
after that, I mean, as far as like being non spoilers, that's pretty much all I can say right now. The movie, like I said, gets right to the point really quick, and divulging any more information is going to lead into heavy spoilers. So we'll leave that for my next video, which will probably be coming out this Saturday. Well, so that's it for all my babbling. I will say this: it is the best MonsterVerse film. If you haven't seen Godzilla vs Kong, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go and watch it. It's absolutely amazing. It's got a great soundtrack, great scenery. The Titan fights are top notch. Godzilla and Kong are absolutely amazing. This movie is, to me, it's 10 out of 10. So definitely go and check it out. So feel free to leave your comments in the section down below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Kaiju Freaks out.